because it's being recorded, I'm just going to go through everything like it was an actual cooking class. So thank you all for coming to my game day event today. I am already having so much fun doing this. It's not very often that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 or 10 items going at the same time. You guys know how bad I am at this as far as just having one item at a time. I'm hot mess mama for sure. So fingers crossed, things go well. I remembered to preheat the oven. So there's step 1. Check. All done. Yay! So you guys, yay! Thank you so much for joining us today here for my game day cooking class. I am Tara Scher, and I am a director here with Epicure. I have been with Epicure for, goodness, coming up on 2 years now. It's going to be 2 years in April. This next week, am getting super excited. Right now, I'm supposed to be doing some laundry and packing because I go to work Monday, Tuesday, and then I am off for the rest of the week because on Wednesday through Sunday, I am invited to what we call Elite Leader Retreat. What is Elite Leader Retreat? That is for Epicure leaders within our organization. So I am part of the Troutman organization, who is my direct upline, our global director. Her name is Kayla. Her leaders, she has been in this industry for quite some time. So she has kind of mentored us and taught us everything that we needed to know, or that we need to know to progress in our business. For those of you that don't know, I have big goals here with Epicure. And what you're looking at me doing right now is playing with goat cheese. As funny as that sounds, I'm not familiar with the texture of goat cheese, and I'm just trying to ball it up a little bit so that I have it ready for our stuffed meatballs that we're going to have today. But anyways, I was invited because it's by invitation only. There are certain achievements that you have to make in your Epicure business to become a leader in leadership, and what that is, so that you guys are familiar. And I'm telling you this for a reason. So what that is I have built my team here. I have 2 leaders underneath me. To become a leader, I have to have 6 people on my team. And then I have to have $6,000 in sales each month. Not me directly, but my team. My minimum requirement that I have to be considered a leadership in a leadership role is $1,000 sold each month. I normally have my goal each month between $300 and $3,500 in personal sales. So a leader has a team of 6 with 6,000 on your team, and a personal sales goal or personal sales volume of 1,000. Now, I am a director. So what that means is I actually have 2 of those leaders underneath me that are my direct personal team, and they now have teams of 6, and their teams have $6,000 in team volume. So that has promoted me to director, and that's not what it's about, though, because I do love what I do. I love my personal business. I love my personal customers. I love showing people how easy a healthy meal can be, and how quickly it can go from raw to ready in 20 minutes or less. And that is Epicure's goal. That's our mission. We do it all gluten-free. We do it all preservative-free. Everything is made in a peanut-free facility. You will not find any preservatives in any of our products. And this is our extensive list of all the things that you will never find in our products. It's absolutely fantastic. It's totally clean. All the raw ingredients are sourced ethically. What does that mean? That means that when it comes in in a shipping container, as one example, it means that those products coming in on that shipping container are not going to be radiated. If you think about a freighter or a shipping container, what else is on those ships in the bowels with all those big, huge metal containers? You get rodents, you get critters. What do? They find themselves inside those big containers with all sorts of raw ingredients, and they are doing lots of bad things in there. So radiation kills the fecal matter that causes the products to be icky, but they're just taking out some ick with other ick, radiation, right? Which is never good. So, and of course, then ethically sourced, we are not going to take away from if something, a raw ingredient, for example, if the cocoa tree or the cocoa would become extinct or start to be showing signs of extinction, we're not going to be sourcing that product, right? We're going to pull it off the shelf and it's not going to be available, which we have seen a lot of actually with COVID over the last couple of years. There was a red pepper shortage for a while. There was all sorts of funny business happening. We couldn't get garlic stuff, and it's all organic, certified organic. Certified organic, that's kind of a loose term because there's not really a very good certification process in place. But just know that Epicure does stand by their ingredients and their products that they use. Now, Epicure, for those of you that are new to Epicure, you may not have heard of it because it's only been in the US for about 2 years now. It's actually Canadian. It was started in Canada 25 years ago. This is the Canada's, or it's Epicure's 25th year in business, you guys. And why is that important? That's important so that you know that you are doing business, you're getting your grocery products with a company that is debt-free. It is totally and completely sustainable. You don't have to worry about it disappearing and not being able to count on them for future products or to stand by their products that you already do have. Now, I'm gonna wash my hands because I'm a little bit of a hot mess and we need to get the wings started. And then I'm gonna talk to you a little bit more as we go, okay? So let me just rinse my hands with this goat cheese really fast. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever as we go, if you're on the live broadcast, I do have the chat open. You can chat or you can come off mute and you can ask a question. I think Farah is still the only one at this time. I know I was expecting a few other people. Sorry?
What were you doing right now with the goat cheese?
Oh, so I was balling that up into small balls so that I could stuff our mini meatballs with the goat cheese. That's what I was doing because it kind of, yeah, it kind of starts to break apart a little bit. So I wanted to make sure that I had it a little more solidified so that I can slip it into that hamburger. Now, the recipe calls for ground chicken or turkey. I'm just going to turn my volume up a little on my phone so I can hear you better. The recipe does call for ground turkey, but you all probably know what my husband would do up in here if I try to serve him ground turkey, right? No bueno. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. I have the oven preheated. It's on 400. Something needed to be, I think the wings needed to be on 400. So I already have, because the lemon pepper was so easy, I just tossed a tablespoon, and I'm not doing 1.5 pounds of wings because it's just us today, of one flavor rather. I'm gonna do probably a total of 1.5 pounds, 3 pounds. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm not doing the full amount that the recipe calls for. I cut it back just a hair. So all I did to coat my lemon pepper wings was just to toss them in a bag with the lemon pepper seasoning. I ended up using about 2 tablespoons of our lemon pepper seasoning. You guys, if you are not a big fan of lemon pepper wings, this can be turned into an aioli with some mayo. You can add a little bit of lemon juice to it. You can turn it into, I made a pasta with it before. Super tasty and delicious. Now, for those of you that are new to Epicure, I'm gonna back up just a little because there was something I forgot to show you. These are not brand new products that I'm asking you to purchase or to trade into. I'm just gonna adjust this a little bit because I don't like to be crooked. They're products that you likely already have in your pantry right now. This is a fantastic example. You want to use these, not these. Now I say that because if you look here, our macaroni and cheese, it's to die for. It's absolutely fantastic. But cheese, you guys, it's orange because of the food dye that they put in it. Not good for our bodies, okay? Another great one is the Jell-O. 6 teaspoons of sugar in a 1/2 cup serving of this guy, 2 teaspoons of sugar in this guy. And all you do to make our chocolate pudding 2 cups of cold water, or I'm sorry, cold milk. If you are lactose free or lactose intolerant, you would use a nut milk of your choice. And all you're going to do is whisk it together for about 2 minutes, and it's going to get thick. It's super tasty and delicious. You guys, pudding is brown. Why do we need to make it browner? Brown is not pretty. It's just ugly anyways, right? So anyways, you're just going to lose out on the sugar that your body does not need, right? So let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get going here officially. Farah is on. Thank you so much for joining us. Farah, for those of you that don't know, Farah is a longtime friend of mine. We met overseas when we lived in England. At the time, she lived down in Shepherd's Grove, which was a little bit farther away, but we used to go down there with friends of ours, and we used to drink. Okay, we used to drink. We drank together, Farah. That's fair to say, right? I think so.
Girl, I just saw some memories of us when we were drunk.
That was probably Tina's going away when she did her mystery. Remember, she had that mystery, whatever, at TLF, whatever, at Billeting.
That was actually Desi when she came back.
Was it Desi's?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. Oh.
Desi left and then she came back to visit, and that's when we held that mystery thing.
Ah, so much fun.
I saw some pictures of your going away just recently.
Was that the night that I got on the bowl?
Yes, ma'am.
So much fun. Gosh, I miss those days. Okay, so for the buffalo wing sauce, it is a little bit spicy, so you probably are going to want it with a side of ranch, which Epicure does have an amazing ranch that you can whip up yourself. I'm not going to make that today, though. We're just going to keep going. I have my wings in a bag. I have already taken a tablespoon of the buffalo seasoning, and I put it in here along with 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, a tablespoon of ketchup, and I have a 1/4 cup of vinegar. Now these are our multi-purpose, our 1 cup prep bowls, you guys. These come as a pack of 4, and these are fantastic because they come with a silicone lid. So you could portion out your veggie dip or your fruit dip or your pudding or whatever, and you can just burp it to get the air out, and it's going to stay nice and delicious in your refrigerator for days and days. Now, I did measure this because you can't see it on camera, I'm sure, but it does have measurements on the side so that you can use these and why dirty up another dish, right? So I have gone ahead and put everything in my multi-purpose, or my 4 cup prep bowl, very similar to the 1 cup, except when it is full, it is 4 cups, and it also has a lid with it as well. And these are great too if you want to travel with salad. I take salad to lunch every day, and I just come home and rinse my salad bowl out, and I throw some more lettuce in there with all my fixins, and then I have my dressing already at work in the refrigerator, and I just eat my salad every day. And that's what this is great for, because it does have a lid, but I use it a lot to do things like this. In this case, I am mixing the buffalo sauce. I have my bag here. Now I easily could have thrown the chicken wings in here, but I had to let them thaw out, and I drained the water, and I am just going to pour the sauce right in there to coat my wings. Now, if you like a crispier wing, you could very easily just put some, what do they call that stuff? Cornstarch. You could toss them in a little bit of cornstarch. If you wanted to use a little bit of oil, you could totally do that as well. I did not do that today, just for the sake of time, so you guys don't have to watch me go through all that. So here they are, ready to go. Now, if you look, I have my sheet pan with my sheet pan liner, except I did not use my long sheet pan liner. I used my 1/4 sheet pan liner, and I put 2 of them on my sheet pan. So then I can have my 2 separate flavors, and they're not intermingled, because I don't know about you guys, but I do not like my food to touch. I don't want the flavors to mix. if I could get away with it, I would totally still use a toddler divided plate to this day, because I do not want my corn. I like my gravy on my potatoes, yes, but I don't want my corn in my potatoes or whatever you have going on. Now, on half of this, I did go ahead and put our crisper, which is also, it acts as a heating or a cooling rack rather. But if you take this and put it down on your sheet pan, it's going to allow the air to circulate on the top and on the bottom of your food, and it's going to crisp both sides. Well, I decided to go ahead and use it on half. So we're going to try it on the lemon pepper today. We're going to see if that is true after these are done baking, if it really does in fact distribute that air like it's supposed to, which I already know it does because, well, I just know that it does. Now you might want to oil the rack a little bit because it is stainless steel, so you very well could stick. We're not going to worry about that today for the sake of time. Now, I don't want to just pour these out because I don't want all that extra buffalo sauce all over the place. So I'm just going to try and do like one at a time. Now, if I were to get all that extra buffalo sauce out on here, it's okay. Yes, it's going to cook, but look at all that extra sauce. I hope there's one, never leave a wing behind. So I better go in after that wing. All right. Now, if I were to be making something on here with, say, cheese, perhaps, and cheese got all over the top of the, or on the silicone and it got baked, you know what? Not a problem, because it's just going to rinse right off with hot water. Our silicone is that great. Let me go ahead and wash my hands since I did touch the raw chicken, and I'll get right back on camera. You don't have to worry about that. Get rid of some of my icky dishes. Make myself have to go to the bathroom in the hot water. Yay. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get the wings in the oven right now. These are going to go in the oven for, I think it said 20 minutes. I better grab that and see really quickly because I am terrible. All right, yes, I never have the right memory. Which one is it? So these are going to go in for 25 minutes and the oven is preheated to 400. So I'll just pop those right in. Cook time, timer 25, start. Okay, so while that's happening, we are going to do everything else. My goal is by the time those are done, we're going to be done with the rest of the goodies. Now, next up is going to be the Feisty smashed potatoes. For those of you that have looked at our meal plan that comes with the game day, it's on in my back office. If you go to tarashare.epicure.com, you're going to see recipes. Click on that, and then you're going to find meal plans. Now, this one is the game day meal plan. I went ahead and I looked at the recipe and I thought, this must be Canadian. And then hubby looked at the recipe and he's like, yeah, we're not doing that because it shows smashed potatoes. So I did buy some baby potatoes so that I could show you what it's supposed to be versus how it's going to be. Okay, so it says to preheat the oven to 425. Check, kind of, right? Place it in the steamer, cover, and you're going to microwave them for 6 to 8 minutes until they're tender. That's how I make my potatoes now, always. So then we're going to pull them out of the microwave and we are going to toss them with oil. Okay, got that, check. And then we're going to, using a bowl, we're going to smash these. So I would use this and would smash them once they're a little bit cooked. And then you guys, I'm going to serve them with gravy or with Feisty green. If you don't have the Feisty green sauce, our Feisty green sauce is amazing. And I'm going to make that today to show you because we really like that as a dip. So I'll make a batch today and I'll keep it in the refrigerator in one of those bowls with the lids on it. And I'll pull them out for tacos later this week or taquitos or whatever, enchiladas, whatever I decide to make. And that's what we use it for. But we also are going to dip our potatoes in it. Now, what did I do with the potatoes different than the mashed potatoes, Feisty smashed potatoes. Oh, and then they wanted us to sprinkle a little bit of the Feisty green sauce. So I'm going to do that. Where is it? La, 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 Feisty green. Oh, I lost the Feisty green sauce, guys. Feisty green, there it is. Okay, so it wants us to take a little bit of the Feisty green and sprinkle it on our potatoes. Well, I took just a regular baking potato and I used an apple corer. So a regular potato, an apple corer, and I made potato strips instead, because again, we're not going to have mashed potatoes or smashed potatoes in this house for a game day. We want dipping, right? We want dipping. So I went ahead and, as you can see, I did them ahead of time and I dusted them with our Epicure basting brush and a little bit of olive oil. And that's why they're brown, because they've been sitting on the counter waiting for me to come to them. So I'm just going to take my 4-in-1 spice spoon and I am just going to season them a little bit with the Feisty green. And now they do have a little bit of oil on them, so this is going to stick nicely. Now notice I do have the metal rack underneath there again, the crisper rack. I only have one set. That's why I chose only one of the sets of wings to get this on it, or to get the crisp on it, because I only have one set. I know that sounds terrible. I have 2 or 3 steamers and stuff, but why do I only have, I don't know, because I don't bake, I guess. So why go through, why take up space for something I'm not going to necessarily use? And as you can see, I totally use more than 1 teaspoon. We love the flavor of this. This Feisty green would make a great seasoning, or it does make a great seasoning on popcorn as well. So that's the Feisty green. And as you can see on the front, it is served on grilled corn. I almost dropped it. Okay, so I'm gonna put these in 2 in the oven because these are gonna take a few minutes. And then we're gonna move on to our stuffed meatballs. I think the potatoes, because I did not cook them in the microwave first, they might take a little bit longer, but that's okay. All right, now the recipe for our cheese stuffed mini meatballs calls for honey garlic meatball seasoning, and then they're going to be stuffed with a little bit of goat cheese, which is what at the beginning of the recording you guys probably saw me playing with white stuff. That is I balled up a little bit of cheese. They might be too big, so I might have to make my meatballs a little bigger. Now the recipe calls for ground turkey or chicken. We're doing it with beef today. It also tells us that we should be putting these in the oven to cook. Well, I wanted to show you guys that once again, our products, Epicure products, are so versatile. First of all, I didn't know it, but we used up the last packet of honey garlic meatball, which is totally okay. Oh, and I see that Karen jumped on. Hi, Karen. Thanks for joining us. I went ahead and made ground meat, and I'm going to go ahead. I didn't have the honey garlic meatball seasoning. I didn't realize I was out, and my next order did not get here. So I went ahead and, to show you guys versatility, here are the options that we have. We have the Korean barbecue chicken and ribs that I could have used. I could have used the classic meatloaf seasoning. And this is just to season my meat. I'm so immature. Or the donair seasoning. These are just examples. Of course, you can use any of our dip mixes or anything like that. But I was trying to think in terms of what's going to taste good when I have to coat it with honey, which I'm not going to do that either. I'm going to show you guys another option. So I went ahead and I used about a 1/3 packet of the Korean barbecue sauce. And I wanted to do that because this is one of our retro products. This is a throwback each month, because this is Epicure's 25th year. Each month they're coming out with 2 or 3 products that used to be in our product line but are no longer available. And the Korean barbecue chicken and ribs is one of those. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I had it When I found out it was going out last year or the year before, I actually ordered about a dozen of them so that I would have them because we love it so much. So for the Korean barbecue chicken and ribs, what you're gonna do, you would take a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of rice vinegar, and some ketchup, and you're gonna mix it together. Now, I did not do that for the sake of the meatballs. I didn't put ketchup in there, but I did put a little bit of the soy sauce and the rice vinegar just so that it brings out the flavor of the seasoning packet. So that's what I did. Now, I took my pound of ground hamburger and I bought 93.7, so 7% fat only. I try to get it when it's on sale, and then I buy like the 5-pound things of it that's like $25 at Costco or something. I get that, and then I break it up. I cut it apart into 1 pound, 1 pound little things, and then I put it in our freezer. So that's how that's meal prepping in my house. If I had the wherewithal or the fortitude, or wait, what would the right word be? If I planned well enough that I could just go ahead and buy it when it's on sale, so I always have a pound of ground beef on hand, good for me is what I say. Now, the instructions do say that we should make these and put them in the oven. It says 425 on the sheet pan with sheet pan liner. And as you guys can see, I do have one back there. There's about 17 minutes left on the wings. So I wanted to show you guys that we don't have to make these in the oven. Now, I've never done cheese stuffed ones in the microwave, but by golly, we're going to try it today, guys. I won't make them all. I'll make a batch in the microwave and a batch in the oven, just so I could show you guys a side-by-side when we're all done here today of the difference in cooking methods. Okay, so I just tossed those into my sink. Oh, we got a lot of feedback happening. If your line is not muted, could you go ahead and mute that for me so I can hear? Because my hands are all covered in meat and I can't get to it to do it. Okay, so I have both. I have my multi-purpose steamer. I have my trivet. I'm going to make them in the microwave. I'm going to cover them, and I'm only going to do it for about 4 minutes. Now, I have a little bit of goat cheese here, so hopefully they're not too big, and I'm just going to push them down in here, and I'm going to, and I don't know that it's going to work because they might be too big. I might have to do half the amount of cheese. I think I'm going to do half the amount of cheese, and that's okay. We make it up as we go, people. Make it up as we go, right? All right. So I'm just going to wrap that up and just make sure that we got it into kind of a nice ball. This one is probably going to burst with cheese because of the amount of cheese that's in it. So I'm just going to have these and go from there. I had never worked with goat cheese before. I've had it, but I've never had to form it into balls before. So I was not sure what to expect. So I am just taking these and pushing it in, and then bringing the rest of the hamburger up over top and pinching them together to make my meatballs. And then just give it a good cupping of the hand to kind of pack it together a little bit. I'm trying to be very mature here, you guys, talking about packing the meat. And I normally cannot say that without laughing. So I apologize because I am that person. I am so immature. Okay, so half the cheese. And I put them I just formed them into balls, and then I smashed them down into my hand. And I am just, as you can see, tucking the cheese down in there and then sealing it off and then balling it up. We're going to do like 6 of these is all. I'm going to put them in the microwave, and then I will do the rest of them in the oven so that I can do a side-by-side picture. And I will post it in my VIP customer group on Facebook. And you guys can tell me if you can tell the difference between the 2 meatballs, because I promise you won't be able to tell the difference. Okay, so I'm just smashing that one down, taking another half a piece of cheese, folding it up, and here we go. Here we go. Okay, so, and I'm really surprised. The dogs are just laying there sleeping. This is so unlike my usual house. I do have their training collars on them so that they wouldn't bark, because I am expecting Amazon to come today. I have to put a sign up daring the Amazon driver to ring my doorbell. It's not necessary. I have a nighttime worker here, which means he's a daytime sleeper. It's not necessary. Don't ring the bell. I can see you coming because I have an app for that, right? Everybody has an app for that now. All right. So smashing it down. I'm going to tuck this last half piece of goat cheese and we're going to get this in the microwave. Okay. And then I'm going to do my bonus recipe today was guacamole, because I'm not making Poco Picante or salsa. I'm not making salsa and not having guacamole to serve with it. My husband would probably ask me for a divorce if I tried to serve him nachos or something without some guacamole on the side. So, all right, so here we go. All right, so we got 5 of them. I said we'd do 6, so let's do one more, okay? Let me get one more half a piece of goat cheese, maybe just a little bit more. There we go, a little bit more than that. Smashing it down. And here's another thing you guys may not know about me. Yes, I was supposed to use the honey garlic meatball seasoning with these meatballs and cheese inside, but I have a problem with savory and sweet mixed together. Don't you dare put any cranberries or any fruit, cranberries in my stuffing or fruit in my salad, because I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to eat it. But funny story, I accidentally bought a cranberry and walnut salad, and it was actually pretty tasty because I went ahead and ate it. It was an accident. I thought I was grabbing for the Caesar salad, but I went ahead and ate it. And it wasn't bad at all, but I choose not to admit that to anyone else. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands one more time. Raw meat. Okay, 11 more minutes on the wings. If you guys have questions, come off mute and go ahead and ask or comment if there's anything happening that you have questions on. Karen, I wasn't sure when you came on and what you caught, but we did not do the smashed potato version. We did, I took a potato and an apple core and made potato like wedges instead. Now, I have my multi-purpose steamer. I only did 6 on here. You could totally fill this thing, you could totally fill it up. These are quite big. Normally they're a lot smaller than this, but again, it's because they're cheese stuff. When you do meatballs in your microwave with your multi-purpose steamer, you do want to use the trivet that comes in there. And that's because it's going to, like with bacon, it's going to allow the meat drippings to drip down in to your steamer. So then you don't have to worry about having to take a paper towel. All right, so I'm going to drop that in here. I'm going to put the lid on it. It's suctioned to the counter. So I'm going to put the lid on it and I'm going to put it in the microwave. We're going to do 4 minutes and see how it looks. Okay. Now, again, I've never done meatballs in the microwave that are stuffed with cheese. So fingers crossed they don't explode on 4 minutes. Okay. So you guys' guess is as good as mine. All right. So we're going to do 4 minutes and I'm going to set the rest of the meatballs and cheese aside and I'm going to make those in the oven when we're finished on the Zoom, just so that for the sake of time, we can keep moving, okay? So next up, we're gonna do our salsa. Actually, I changed my mind. We're gonna do the baked brie. And we're gonna do the baked brie because this also goes in the oven. No, it doesn't, I lied. It goes in the microwave for 60 to 90 seconds. You can put it in the oven, we're not going to, so I guess we're not gonna do the baked brie. Now, baked brie, when my meatballs are done, I'll do the baked brie, but I did not buy a block of it. I only bought a little bit, but it says 4-ounce brie cheese wheel. You're going to put it in the microwave for 60 to 90 seconds and you're going to top it with red pepper jelly. If you guys are not familiar with our red pepper jelly, OMG, it is so, so good. You can turn this by melting it a little bit. You can use this to dip your wontons in. You can use it to dip your egg rolls in. I have turned this. It takes a little more, so I don't like to do it because, it's great as a stir fry seasoning as well. So you would just melt this down a little bit in your stir fry. It does take a little bit more, add a little bit of soy sauce. And then, oh, so good. It makes my mouth water. I want a shrimp stir fry so bad right now. But here's the thing with this. There's so many different options. Oh yeah, and don't even get me started about it. Topping our jalapeno cheddar cornbread. Oh, so good. But anyways, if you don't like Brie or you want to try it and in future you don't like it, so then you're like, okay, I have all this red pepper jelly, now what? Here's a super easy dish that you can make. Rather than Brie, most people have a block of cream cheese in their refrigerator, right? Open this up, take it out of the foil that it comes in, pour a little red pepper jelly over top of it, put a knife with it, and serve it on crackers. So good. I promise you are going to enjoy it. But we are going to try it with Brie today, though. I'm not sure what my husband's going to think. He's going to accuse me of being foo-foo. And, drinking my wine with my pinky out kind of situation. Okay. I tried a new drink at Starbucks today. I got a green tea lemonade with peach in it. So good. A lot of sugar. That's why I only got the smallest one. But I just wanted to try something new. So let's go ahead with our Poco Picante salsa, shall we? Let me move some of my instructions out of the way, move them down the table so that you can't see all the junk. Okay, so we have Poco Picante salsa. This is our Poco Picante seasoning. I love this stuff. We make a batch of this up each week. I do store it in our 4-cup prep bowl. You can use real tomatoes, of course. I only have 1 tomato left. So we're going to save that to chop it for a salad tomorrow night. So, because I don't want to go to the store again, right? So I am going to just use a can of tomatoes because I always have diced tomatoes in my pantry. So I already measured out 1 cup of diced tomatoes. So I'm just going to pour that in, set that aside. So there's my tomatoes, right? And now I'm just going to take my Poco Picante seasoning. It says 2 tablespoons of Poco Picante seasoning. It ends up being pretty spicy. So I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon. And then my husband will say, this is weak. Yes, dear, it's weak because I made it. And then he'll add a little more to his. See how that works? Yeah, marriage. It's a compromise, right? So then we're going to do a teaspoon of lime juice, which is always optional, as well as cilantro. But I happen to love lime, so why not? Let me grab, I thought I had another cutting mat out. Let me grab one. And our meatballs are done. So did you know that you roll your lime or your lemon, your citrus or your orange on the counter, and it's supposed to make it a little bit juicier? I don't know if that's true because I don't make fresh squeezed juice of any kind. If it does not come in a container, I probably have never had it. I'm not all fancy like that. So I'm just going to take our knife. This is our ceramic blade knife. It's called our Prep Pro knife. I've cut my lime in half. I do not know how to measure a teaspoon of lime juice. So I'm just going to go for it. I'm putting it, ooh, this one's too big. It does not fit. I'll put it in I'm going to put it in the lemon side of my citrus press. And I can't do a teaspoon, but I love my lime. So I'm just going to do a short little squeeze to put some in there. And then I'll use the rest of that lime in our guacamole. So then, of course, I am just going to stir this up a little bit. And yes, I am using the 4-in-1 spoon, 4-in-1 spice spoon that I just used to measure my Poco Picante seasoning. And that's it. That is all there is to it. Now, you should put this back in the refrigerator so that the seasoning has a chance to rehydrate and be infused into the tomatoes. So I'll set that aside. That will be refrigerated before we eat it tonight. Let's see how our meatballs turned out, shall we? Okay, so 4 minutes in the microwave. Notice I'm not using anything to protect my hands because it's not going to be that hot after 4 minutes. Of course, if I was doing my whole chicken in my microwave in my multi-purpose steamer, or if I were using this in the oven to make my brownies or whatever, I don't bake brownies. If my daughter was baking brownies in the oven versus in the microwave, she would totally protect her hands. Now, of course, protect yourself from the steam by lifting the lid away from you. And here are my meatballs, guys. Don't they look awesome? All right, let me grab some. Wow. All of my tools have disappeared. They must be in the dishwasher. Grab a plate and here we go. They were over at the sink. My grip and grabs. These are also silicone. They are wonderful tools because they are steel inside, so they can actually take heat. My husband has actually used the flipper on his grill before, and it takes heat up to 425 degrees, just like the rest of our silicone that you can bake with. All right, so let me take one of these. I'm gonna put it on my plate. I'm gonna cut into it though, just so you guys can see that it is in fact done. Let me just set it down really quickly. And then we gotta make our guacamole and we should be done. All right. Okay, so 4 minutes is probably a little too long for these, but here you go. They are totally cooked. Super tasty too, guys. Good. I really like that barbecue. Korean barbecue chicken and rib rub. No. Yep. Korean barbecue chicken and rib rub. That's what I used. Super tasty. All right. And there's the oven. 58 seconds left on our wings. And then we will go ahead and get moving on the guacamole. Guacamole. I'm going to put the Brie in the microwave for, it said 60 to 90 seconds. I don't have a big block of it, so I'm just going to do about 30 seconds just to soften it a little more. And then we'll cover it in some red pepper jelly. Now, I have my red onion out because I do like to put a little bit of red onion in my guacamole. Epicure guacamole is super easy to make. Let me grab, I need to rinse this off really fast since I just used it for my Poco Picante. Okay, see, you can't have too many of our 4-in-1 spice spoons. All right, so there's the Brie. We're gonna let that rest for just a minute and we're gonna get going. Let me take these out of the oven. Ooh, I think we might need to go a few more minutes. Timer off. We might need to go a few more minutes because these are pretty big chicken, pieces of chicken. But here they are. And I wonder, yes, they are. They're a little bit crispier on the bottom than these. That is correct. They are. And I was doing it with my fingernails. I wasn't burning myself. So I'm just going to put these back in for just a smidge longer, like 3 more minutes or so. Let's see how our potato sticks are doing. Let me grab a fork to check those for doneness. These are probably going to be, yeah, these need to go probably 10 or 12 more minutes even. So we're going to put those back in. And y'all know I need to set a timer. Otherwise, I'm going to forget about it. So I'll take the chicken out in 3 minutes. That should be enough time to do the guacamole. It's just my husband and I today, so I'm just going to do 1 avocado. And let me move some more stuff out of the way. Grab my cutting board. And I did not really have a great selection of avocados at the market yesterday when I went. So I did go ahead and put these in a beer koozie and kept them kind of dark and warm so that they are able to ripen a little more. So we are good to go now as far as ripeness. Now, I grabbed the Haas ones that are a little bit bigger. So let me just take my pit out. So I'm just gonna do, like I said, the one, pop that out. I like to get all the meat out of there for sure, because we love our guacamole in this house. All right, so got that ready to go. Now what you can do is use the ground meat separator. If you haven't, it's always good to know how other things can be used. This is our ground meat separator, and you can do that to use it to chop up your avocado. Then my daughter is gonna come home from, she went to the mall with a friend. She's gonna come home and she's gonna be like, what, you made guacamole? Because we love the guacamole in our house. And I'll be like, here's another avocado, go to town, kid. So anyways, it's not gonna, if you use this on ground meat, it's not gonna get stuck in the spokes because they're nice and far apart. Now, for our recipe that's on here, it says to use 3 tablespoons of dip mix for 2 avocados. So obviously then I'm just gonna use 1.5 tablespoons. See, easy math is easy today. I don't always struggle with math, but most times I do. So there's that, I would put up, chop up some red pepper. Why do they call these red peppers? It's purple, it's clearly purple, right? So then you're just gonna take that, and then a little bit of lime juice. Remember I said that I was gonna just use the rest of the lime because I only squeezed a couple tablespoons out. So I'll just give a good press of the lime. Put a little bit more lime juice in there because again, I like my lime. Now, another option that you may use is to put a little bit of our herb garlic sea salt grinder in it. Just a couple turns is all it takes. If you like it just a little bit saltier, which I do, I'm a salty person, right? Salty. All right, so I'll just go ahead and there is my guacamole. Oh my gosh, my mouth is like literally running. It's your nose that runs. My mouth is salivating. I'm slobbering. Oh, so tasty and delicious, you guys. Okay, so then there is guacamole. I'll pop this in the refrigerator with the salsa and it'll be ready to eat here shortly. All right, so we have our wings that should be done now. I'm gonna leave my potatoes go. So there's my wings. The potatoes are gonna stay in there. The wings are nice and good. I can already tell. I don't even need to cut into these to see. So there's our wings. I'm gonna set these over here. I'll finish the meatballs. The last thing that I do want to show you guys is how easy it is to make that feisty green sauce. Because yes, I used it to season my potatoes, but we like it here as a dipping sauce. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make that really quickly just so that you guys can see. And it's kind of the same method for the roasted garlic aioli. You use a mayonnaise as the base and a couple tablespoons of water, and you're just gonna let it stand for a few minutes. So you do a tablespoon of the feisty green sauce, a half a cup of mayo, which, I have another one of my Prep Pro bowls. It's a pack of 4, so I have another one. I might have 10 or 12 of these laying around. So again, remember I said we use this all week. So I'll do my half a cup because it will get eaten, even though it's just husband and myself today to eat this food. The daughter had a COVID scare. Her cheer team came back and had a positive case, and they were at cheer together on Thursday and on Friday. Well, she went and got tested, and even though she was showing symptoms, so she did go and get tested on Friday night, and it came back yesterday, and she was COVID free. So really, I could have had my in-home demo, but at that point, it's like, you know what, as a small business owner, I need to be safe, keep everybody safe. So we opted to just do this today virtually. So I, again, am so sorry, you guys that were planning on coming here. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube just so everybody can see. So the feisty green sauce. All right, I have my half a cup of mayonnaise. I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of water. I just turn the spout on really quickly and hope and pray that that's about 2 tablespoons. It should be about right. Okay, have my Feisty green sauce. It's got a little bit of guacamole on it, but that's okay. So then I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of this. 1 and 2. And notice how perfectly our 4-in-1 spice spoon fits inside each one of our jars. That's what it's designed to do. It fits perfectly in there. Okay, and then we're going to use just a little bit more. This time it says 1 teaspoon. So again, I don't know how to measure, so I'm just going to eyeball it. And that's it. And then I'm just going to take it and I'm going to stir it up, and it makes a lovely green dipping sauce that will probably be all over my counter because I am very, very messy. But you get the idea, right? And the same basis for the Chipotle seasoning, the Chipotle Aioli, and the roasted garlic aioli. Now, the roasted garlic aioli, that is really good if you want to melt it with butter and make your own garlic bread. I know some of us are gluten intolerant, so we do have to buy the gluten-free or bake the gluten-free bread, but you can still make delicious garlic bread. So there it is. So it's I'll probably add just a little bit more water so that it's not as thick, because we do like it just a little bit thinned out. So there's that for the Feisty green. So good. Oh, in fact,
Can you describe the flavors of that Feisty green? Because I've never tried.
You're asking me to describe the flavors. Yes, I can. It does have a little bit of a kick in it because there is jalapeno. Let me read the ingredients. That should help. It's got Parmesan cheese. So if you are lactose intolerant, you should not use this product, or if you do, use it sparingly, of course. So it's got Parmesan cheese. It has garlic, herbs, jalapeno, organic lime powder, organic cane sugar, and matcha green tea. I know everybody goes, what? Now, a lot of times we will put those types of products or those types of ingredients in our products because of the health benefits of the matcha tea. Don't ask me what they are. I just remember reading about it from when we actually, during gifting in December, when we had our matcha green tea. It does have some health properties involved with the matcha. So that is in the green tea, but how does it taste? All right, ready? You can't taste the mayo base whatsoever. I can definitely pick up on the lime, and I can definitely pick up on the jalapeno. Okay, I'm trying to think of what it's a good comparative to. A sauce. Okay, so like when I have had green salsa, it tastes sort of like that, but the creamy version of it. Now, if you don't like mayo, you could totally make this with a little bit of sour cream instead. Totally for sure it would be good. In fact, I have done that and it is delicious. A lot of people don't like mayonnaise. What kind of mayonnaise do you guys use? I come from Northern Ohio, where it's all about the Miracle Whip. I don't like Miracle Whip. We actually use Kraft mayo, and I buy the light stuff just as a savings as far as some of our calories. Okay, Brie. Here's the Brie. I know it's softened, I'm sure. And then all you're going to do, oh, it didn't just soften, it totally melted. And that's okay. It's going to be delicious. I just know it. Because we're going to take some of our red pepper jelly. I will post a better description in my customer group for you on that one, Farah, because I know that there is a write-up in my back office that will describe exactly the flavor. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the red pepper jelly over it. And I'm not sure, you guys, am I supposed to take this white stuff off of Brie? I told you I'm not cultured enough to know that. I have no idea. So we're just going to go with it.
No, you eat that.
You eat that. Well, Tara may not. All right, here we go. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take one for the team. I'm going to get a cracker though, okay? I'm going to grab a cracker. Oh, I have my crackers all over on my table so that when Honey wakes up from his nap, it's all going to be served for him. So I just grabbed some Melba toast because that's what was easy. Of course, I have some Clubhouse crackers or whatever in there as well. So here we go. And I did grab a piece of that, the white, whatever that's called. Is that a rind? All right, ready? Here we go. Oh, I feel cheated. Some of my red pepper jelly came off. I'll add a little more. Mmm. Super tasty. Does not taste much different than if I were to put it over my cream cheese. So that's good to know. So tasty, delicious, so good, yummy. Maybe not a full 30 seconds in the micro. Oh, I guess that's supposed to be melty though. Otherwise you probably wouldn't be able to dip it very well. So there we go. So any questions before we jump off of here? No? Okay, well, I am going to, oh, I hear somebody coming off mute. Somebody have a question?
I was just gonna say, are you gonna post the video? I had it down for 2:30 and that's why I was late.
Oh, yes, I'm gonna post the video. I'm gonna post it on YouTube and then I'll post a link to it so that you guys can find it. You will be able to watch it from the beginning. It's just me talking about Epicure that you missed, but it's still good. It's very full of information. So I will definitely post it. I didn't want to post, I wanted to live stream straight to the group, but for whatever reason, it wasn't allowing me to. It could be in my settings on Facebook, so I'll have to look into that so that I can figure it out for a future date. But for today, it's okay. There may be some disappointed people, but they should have signed up and got the Zoom link, right, guys? Okay, so I'm gonna finish my meatballs. Hopefully soon those will be done, as well as the potatoes, and I'll take a picture of the whole spread. All right, are we good? Thank you guys so much for joining in. I really, really appreciate everything. Definitely reach out if you have any questions about any of the products today. Brian and Karen, as you guys start cooking things up, shoot me a text if you run into any problems or just need an alternative method. If you don't have some of our cookware or whatever, it will still work for whatever you guys do have in your kitchen already, okay? So thanks everyone for joining me on this Saturday. Take care and we will all talk soon, okay? Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.